Hello, friends. Robert Bevan here, author of the Caverns Creatures series of comedy, fantasy novels, and short stories. With me is Sam West, and today we're talking about the feat Strixhaven Initiate.
Yes. I can do like a elephant nose because Strixhaven's got
All right.
what are they called? The elephant people. Loxodon. It's got Loxodon. It's also got orcs, I think.
Orcs?
Is Dina an orc? I don't remember. I'm a magic guy, so I do like I love the Strixhaven set. It's very fun. Mystical Archive's very hype. Commenters down below. If you like Magic the Gathering and Strixhaven, this is a feat that technically lives in that setting. And that book is actually not that bad. I like that book a lot. It's not as good as the Ravnica one. Ravnica book is my favorite MTG setting book. Would recommend. But there is some neat stuff in the Strixhaven one. And I definitely think I would die to play a game in Strixhaven. That sounds like every 12-year-old Sam reading the Harry Potter books would kill to come back to life as a college random student in a magical school full of all the magic of all of the multiverse. But yeah, we're talking about the feat from that book, the most meaningful one that matters to the vast majority of tables. The rest of them are kind of like, it's very specific. But this is Strixhaven Initiate. This is from the Strixhaven Curriculum of Chaos, the book I just talked about. And it basically is Arcane Initiate tuned up to 11, or Magic Initiate tuned up to 11. So this is, you've studied some magical theory and have learned a few spells associated with Strixhaven University. Choose one of Strixhaven's colleges, Lorehold, Prismari, Quandrix, Silverquill, or Witherbloom. You learn 2 cantrips and 1 first-level spell based on the college you choose, as specified in the Strixhaven spells table. You can cast the chosen first-level spell without a spell slot and must finish a long rest before you can cast it again with this way. And this is really important words. You can also cast the spell using any spell slots you have. And that is the biggest meaningful difference between this feat and Magic Initiate. With Magic Initiate, you get 1 use of it, and if it's not a class spell, tough. You can't cast it with spell slots. This is a way for any full caster to get a Cleric, Wizard, Bard, Sorcerer, Druid spell. It's just those 5 classes. Those are the 5 classes that are on the table. Get any first level spell from those 5 classes and cast it using another class's spell slots. Which means if you're a cleric, you now have access to shield. If you are a wizard, you now have access to divine shield or divine favor. You've got some pretty weird, wacky things start to happen here that can be really yucky good.
All right. Well, we didn't talk about what the schools and the spell choices you get.
Sure. Okay. So the actual table itself, you get 2 of 3 cantrips for each of them, and they're all based off the varying themes. So Lorehold is the Jocks and Rocks College. They're the historians, but also football, kind of. It's difficult to explain. It's not important. What is important is you can choose 2 from Light, Sacred Faith, and Thaumaturgy, and then you get a Cleric or Wizard spell. And I'm going to do some shorthand right now. If you ever in the schools get an option to get a Wizard or Sorcerer spell, you cannot go wrong. All of their first level, not all, but most of their first level spells are absolutely worth getting on all the other full classers. So, if you hear Wizard, you probably are like, ooh, this is a good one. And there's
a lot of them, too.
Yeah, I mean, these cantrips kind of suck, but you probably
I'm talking about the first level spells.
Oh, yeah, there's a ton of options. Prismari gives you Firebolt, Prestidigitation, and Ray of Frost. They are the art kids, and you get a Bard or Sorcerer spell, and again, that Sorcerer list is almost as good as the Wizard spell list. In fact, for first levels, it's nearly identical. Quandrix, these are the nerds that do math and stuff. You choose from Druidcraft, Guidance, or Mage Hand. Mage Hand is really meaningfully relevant. And then also, you get a first level Druid or Wizard spell, which automatically, because you can get Mage Hand and Guidance here, I think makes Quandrix the clear outlying, this is the best one.
Guidance is not something to turn your nose up at.
Oh, yeah. And Mage Hand, too? What? If you're a...
Oh, no. Mage Hand, obviously. But
if you are...
You mentioned that. You didn't mention Guidance, though.
It's excellent. Anyway, Silverquill is the poets, the politicians of the political theater kind of kids. You choose from Sacred Flame, Thaumaturgy, and Vicious Mockery. That's cute. And you get a Bard or Cleric spell. This, I think, is the worst as far as spell list goes, but you can still make something happen here.
Yeah.
And then Witherbloom gives you Chill Touch, Druidcraft, or Spare the Dying, and you get Druid or Wizard first level spell. Witherbloom are the bio geeks, but they're also really uber depressed emo kids. It's great. Strixhaven's very rich and an incredibly fun setting. Wizards of the Coast did a really great job, I think, setting it up as it's not just Harry Potter. In fact, it's not even a little bit Harry Potter. It's its own big multicultural giant college university set full of magic and whimsy, and it's a good time. And all of these, I think, do a decent enough job representing the schools while also being just utterly busted at a random D&D table. I'm assuming you're in this camp, Bob, but don't give a crap about Strixhaven, but you will put these on a character sheet someday because they're good.
Yeah.
Which one speaks to you most? Is it Quandrix?
Yeah, it's Quandrix.
Yeah.
Just guidance, mage hand, and find familiar if I don't already have access to that.
That's basically multi-classing a level in Wizard. That's insanely good. And you also get guidance. Like, ugh, gross, disgusting, amazing. If you're like playing a barbarian, and you're like, God, I just need a little bit more juice. Do that. Just take a level of Quandrix and be like, I got a familiar buddy, I got Druidcraft, I got Mage, I got guidance. We're good. I got plenty of out of combat utility now that'll take me far.
I want Vicious Mockery, but if I want that, I'll actually play a bard.
That's fair. I like that if you wanted to play like, I think Silverquill, that's the one that gets Vicious Mockery. They also get Sacred Flame or Thaumaturgy. I probably take Thaumaturgy because I love the cosmetic cantrips like that, and Thaumaturgy is one of the better ones, I think. But like, if I'm playing an Arcanist, like a Sorcerer or a Warlock, I think there's a decent chance that Silverquill's Cleric spell becomes a little bit more interesting because it gives you access to like Healing Word, and having a little bit of healing utility just for free, like once per short rest or once per long rest, just you get that, and then also be able to spend spell slots on it. It's like, oh, that's like a reasonable upgrade. That's an entirely decent thing to stick on a character sheet if your goal is to improve your utility in some meaningful fashion for, keeping your teammates alive. I like that a lot, actually. It's not really on brand for Silverquill to like their friends that much, but sure, that works.
If you're a full caster and you're leveling up and, first level slots become cheap, then you still got this.
Yeah. I think most of the time, and I should mention, Silvery Barbs is a bard spell. So, like, you can always if you can get Silvery Barbs, and you can, from all of these, you will have a fine time with the cantrips listed as well, because Silvery Barbs on all the full casters is disgusting. Clerics with Silvery Barbs are yucky good. They get amazing good defensive options that keep your teammates alive, and then in the narrow instance, something gets through their protection from good and evil, gets through the +2 AC they're given, and you go, actually, roll that again. I don't like your outcome. And also, they're going to have advantage of their attack roll against you. And it's as a DM, you just deflate, because you're like, I can't reasonably deal with this without feeling like a dick. That's kind of how Silvery Barbs affects a lot of tables, especially once you get past like 5th level and spell slots start becoming abundant. So yeah, you can never go wrong with taking Silvery Barbs because, again, it's accessible in 100% of these options. I like all of the words here. This is almost a strict upgrade over Magic Initiate. The only meaningful difference, I think, is that Magic Initiate, if you're taking specifically Find Familiar, and you want 2 Wizard cantrips, like specifically also Minor Illusion, that's like the one window I think I'm still taking Magic Initiate. Other than that, now, I think Strixhaven Initiate just like entirely replaces it, right?
Yeah. That's being able to use your spell slots. That's pretty big.
It's gigantic. Rangers and Paladins love this feat for that reason, right? This is a way to get a lot of access to good spells. Paladins with Shield. Well, like, that's yucky good to get a free +5 AC on a 25 AC character. Like, oh, I'm never going to hit ever again. Amazing. This is so good. Rangers can take all kinds of good things from either the list. I love Familiars on Rangers because you can get like a Scouting Hawk and actually feel like the Navigator and stuff. That's really cool. You can go Witherbloom and get like Druidcraft Spare the Dying and really feel like a survivalist that way if that's what you want to do. That's very fun. The options are really like, what good first level spells exist? And the answer is most of the ones that exist are on one of these 5 spell lists. Normally it's Wizard. And then after that, you're like, great. And then I get some cosmetic cantrips that help me out feel a little bit more magical. All W's. Nothing bad to say about Strixhaven Initiate. It might be the new best low tier magic spell in the game.
Magic feat.
Yeah, feat, sorry.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty cool. I got not much else to say about it. You covered it pretty well.
Thanks. It doesn't give you Warlock spells. So hey, if you want specifically Hellish Rebuke, you can't get it here. And we actually talked about that in our Hellish Rebuke video, is why that spell is uniquely difficult to make good, because it's locked into Oathbreaker. Oh,
that's right. We actually talked about
Warlock.
Strixhaven Initiate.
Yeah, because it's relevant, because this gives you access to it as a spell you can spend spell slots on. But you can't here, because again, Warlock isn't a class and it's a Warlock exclusive. So yeah, you can't get some spells through this, but most of them you can. Maybe you like want, I think Armor of Agathis is a first level spell you could do with it. Again, you can't take that here because Warlock isn't an option. So if you want specifically a Warlock spell, you still have to go to Magic Initiate. But most of the time you don't care about that. Most of the time you care about the Clerics or the Wizard spells, or then sometimes the Silvery Barbs from Bard or Clerics like Divine Favor, and Healing Word every once in a while is probably good too. So All in all, this is, I genuinely think, a 5 out of 5. It's a free, incredibly high, powerful resource that you just add onto your spell list, get a free first level slot to do it. They're going to be characters that shouldn't have shield that have shield because this feat exists. They're going to be characters that shouldn't have silvery barbs that have silvery barbs because this spell exists, or this feat exists. And like, that's going to warp games. There are games that are going to be radically different because the ranger can also cast silvery barbs.
Also, yeah, I mean, whether you're martial or, I mean, if you're martial and this gives you a familiar, I mean, yeah, I mean, Magic Initiate could also do that, but yeah, plus
This is
some
as
other
good
things.
then, right?
Yeah. But if you're a caster, then as you keep leveling up, you keep getting more slots to be able to use this with use this other spell, spell selection with, and that's fun.
Yep.
Yeah.
The vast majority of classes in the game, including 2 subclasses for the excluded classes, have some kind of spell slots, right? Rogue, Monk, Fighter, Barbarian, those 4 are the outliers. Everyone else has some amount of spell slots, right? So all of those classes, even the half-casters, will find use in this. Eldritch Knights and Arcane Tricksters love this kind of feat. So yeah, it doesn't really matter who you are. It's going to be good on you. I do think it's a little bit better on the full casters, but it's already really, really, it's a free of your choice spell for that's just ridiculously powerful.
All right. Yes. 100% agree. What about on warlocks? I mean, the big problem is limited magic. This gives you, well, it's per day uses then, because how does that work on warlocks?
On warlocks, you get a once per long rest spell slot that is exclusive to the first level spell, and then you can also spend pack slots on that spell upcast, which is cool.
Yeah.
It's a meaning, like, I like it a lot on warlocks just as another little spell to do a lot of the time. Especially, it gives you a meaningful reaction. It's closer to, I think warlocks are closer to martial characters than they are to like anyone with spell slots as far as like this feat is concerned. You really you shield and silvery barbs are less valuable on the characters that get 1 of it as opposed to getting 5 of it. Right. So, warlock is in the 1 of it category where it's still fine, but you'll probably want the utility stuff in there instead of the defensive excellent reactions.
All right, lots of fun. I will agree. 5 out of 5. Fantastic feat.
Fantastic setting too. Get the Strixhaven book. It's one of the better ones they've done, in my humble opinion, as a Magic show.
All right. Well, thank you, Sam. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. Let us know what you think down in the comments below. Like and subscribe, and I guess we'll see you next time. Bye-bye. Thank you for watching. If you found this helpful, informative, or entertaining, I'd really appreciate it if you hit the like button below. You needn't smash it. A gentle tap will suffice. If you want to see more videos like this, subscribe to the channel. And make sure you check out the links in the description, where you'll find my Caverns Creatures series of comedy fantasy novels, Sam's full review of the spell, and other fun things.